Welcome from the IIBA Tampa Bay, Florida chapter. This is our study group for October 19th, 2023. This is our 96th study group class. Today we're going to be going over practice test questions for the chapter of techniques, which is chapter 10 in the BABOK. Our mission here is to bridge the gap between industry leaders and business analysts by building partnerships with professionals, educators, and employers so that we may empower, instruct, and engage the BA community. You'll notice that we are called the IIBA Tampa Bay, Florida chapter. However, we have a worldwide audience. We're very proud of that. That means that we are serving the people that we're trying to reach. We don't charge money for our study groups. We're doing this strictly so that we can benefit anybody who wants to either be a better BA or to learn how to be a BA. So that's what we're here for. No matter if you're here online with us or if you're watching one of the recordings, we would love to hear from you if we have provided any benefit to you, especially if you've earned a certification and if we've had any benefit for you to get that certification. We have a variety of ways for you to reach us. This is our normal Thursday night study group from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Our past meeting recordings are all available, and I'll show those to you in just a moment. We also have an IIBA site, Meetup, Zoom, Facebook, and LinkedIn groups. If you want to reach us, we're available to you. Watermark Learning has been a constant supporter of ours. They've given us access to their practice study questions for tests. They've also given us a discount code for anyone to use. It is Tampa space 21. It gives you a 20% discount on any of their products. We are a volunteer-led organization. Cliff is our president. Yulia is our vice president of finance. Caitlin and Priscilla are board members at large. My name is Thea Soren. I am the vice president of career and professional development. It is my job to help you learn whatever it is you need to learn, solve any problem that you have, review your use cases or user stories, do whatever I need to help you become the BA that you want to be. If you're interested in being on our board, please let us know. Reach out to us through LinkedIn. This is an hour that is a credit for your education for the IIBA. This is an education hour, and the reason is this gentleman right here. This is Bob Churchill. Bob has earned his CBAP, and he has kindly consented to attend our study groups so that he can contribute his input. He also has rpchurchill.com, which I'd like to show you that real quick. rpchurchill.com has a lot of awesome information in it. It also has, in addition to the awesome information, all the information that I just showed you of how you can reach us, a link to all the recordings that we have had covering all the different parts of the BABOK, all the different test questions, and it also has, let's see, here's our professional guest series, project management, business architecture, so much more. And then down here at the bottom, here are the techniques. If you want to hear what we had to present on techniques, we've already gone through the BABOK once with test questions. We're on our way to the second time through with test questions. And so cycle 1 is here, cycle 2 is here. We have a few of these that need to be still covered in cycle 2. We'll be doing that on the next few weeks, hopefully getting finished with it by the end of November. If you're interested in covering some of these that have not yet been covered, please reach out to me and we will talk about how you'd like to do it. If you would like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and we'll get it scheduled. Yes, Bob.
The section directly above that has the sections on the chapter. So all those links are to the weeks we did test questions on those chapters. And down below that, all the way at the bottom, there are direct links to all the guest speaker sessions.
That's correct. If you present a technique, we will put your name in here. You get bragging rights. You can put it on your resume on LinkedIn that you presented to the IIBA Tampa Bay on the Book of Knowledge. So again, reach out to me and let's get that scheduled. We're not asking you to do a lot on that. We want you to show us what the BABOK says about it. And if you have any insight or experience with that or want to do any research, Show us a few things about it. That's all we need. We just need you to tell us, what does the BABOK say about that particular technique? As you can see, we've got a couple of holes here: business model canvas, data modeling, decision modeling, a couple of others are in here, and this link to this page will be dropped into the notes for you. So without further ado, we're going to go to the watermark learning exam. And I don't know how I can turn this off. I don't see a, oh, look, I can move it. I feel accomplished. Okay, so this is the watermark learning exam. These are practice test questions. We're going to go to CBAP and log in. And then we're going to go to not warm up, but drill for techniques. Get drill feedback at the end of every question, and we're going to begin exam. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read to you each of the questions and each of the answers. What I need you to do at that point is take yourself off of mute and tell me if any of these answers are not correct. It's like, that is absolutely not even in the BABOK. Okay, then we eliminate that answer. Then we have the other three possible answers. Then we talk about which one is the best answer according to the BABOK. And the conversation here is where it gets valuable. People are able to say, oh, wait, you missed that. You didn't pay attention to this word. This word is important. We have the conversation. We look at the answer. Then we decide, do we agree with this answer? Sometimes we don't always agree with the answer. Having the conversation is important. So, test question 1. Which of the following statements is accurate about the functional decomposition technique? So here's our technique. A wide variety of diagramming techniques can be used to represent functional decomposition, including tree diagrams, nested diagrams, and use case diagrams, among others. Not suitable for complex endeavors, especially when the business analyst has limited experience. Representations of functional decomposition results allow business analysts to define design options and use the results to solve other tasks. And D, functional decomposition assumes that subcomponents do not completely describe their parent components. Are any of these not true?
B and D, because it is for complex endeavors. And D, because it represents the parent and child relationship, so I would go for A.
Okay, so you feel A is the best answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have a second vote? Anybody? Well, we're going to check answer A. And A is correct according to BABOK 1022 3.4. This is the correct answer. Good job. I would get clappy hands, except I've got to go to a different screen to do that. For effective review, objectives are clearly communicated to all participants prior to the review. Which of the following is not an objective for reviews? To measure work product quality, to educate reviewers about the work product, to answer a question, resolve an issue, or explore alternatives, or to produce numerous ideas from participants. Which is not an objective for reviews?
I would go for D, because we measure the work product quality. So A is like out of scope. Then we
Okay.
can cross educate reviewers about the work product, so that we do.
Okay.
And answer a question and resolve an issue to explore alternatives. So yeah,
Okay.
I think D.
Do I have any other information that anyone wants to provide about this?
Another way to think about it is you're not generating new ideas, you're reviewing what you've already done in theory.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, we're going to check the answer, and it is correct. Reviewers may generate new ideas, but the main objective is to evaluate an existing work product. We agree with them. I love it. Okay, number 3, you're conducting a workshop to come up with ideas on how to solve the issue of delays in the billing process. Which of the following would be a suggested starting point? Identify potential root causes for the delays, describe the current process, brainstorm potential solutions, or draw a diagram of the process. Which is the starting point?
I identify potential root cause for the delay. Could be A.
Do you feel like that's the answer?
I would say B, describe the current process.
Okay. What do you,
Yeah, as a starting point, this could be the first step.
okay. Okay, let's check this. And it is saying that draw a diagram of the process.
See,
Process
that
model.
was going to be annoying because B and D are the same answer.
They really are.
And that's
It
why
talks about
these
verbally
test
describing the process.
questions are kind of annoying.
Yeah. So this is talking about verbally describing the current process. Had it said verbally describe the current process, we would have all probably picked draw the diagram of the process. So I think we do agree, draw a diagram of the process would be a good would be the best starting point so people can see what you're talking about. Okay, let's go on to number 4. What is the role of a scribe in a workshop? To document the decisions in the format determined prior to the workshop, keep track of any items or issues that are deferred during the session, document decisions in the format determined prior to the workshop, keep track of the items in the parking lot, and ensure all discussions stay on track. Document decisions in the format determined prior to the workshop, keep track of the items in the parking lot, and tracks the time spent on each agenda item, or to take minutes. Are any of these not the right answer? I'm going to say that the scribe does not ensure discussions stay on track. That's not their job. So I think we can eliminate B. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so we have A, C, and D. They are exactly the same, except this one talks about items in the parking lot and tracking time spent on each agenda item. And this one is issues that are deferred during the session.
I think timekeeper will track the time spent on each agenda items. I'd go for A.
Okay, do we have any other votes?
Like
Actually,
A better than D also.
Okay, let's
okay.
check the answer.
But yeah,
This
D
is the definition of the scribe's role.
essentially A, but A is more specific. And one of the things to do is keep track of open items and to do items.
I agree. Do y'all remember last week we were talking about this and scribe was not, I mean, one of the answers said scribe is not a role for workshops. I swear that's what came up last week, but I'll go back and check it.
I remember that one also. But quick question for this, just to make sure, right? So with
Yes.
C, track the time spent and each agenda. We're talking about the time boxing, which is the BA's role, correct? That's the reason why we're not choosing C for this one.
Well, it could be the BA's role or it could be a timekeeper's role.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because time boxing is prioritization technique. So that prioritization will be done by BA, but there is, if I'm not wrong, there's another role of timekeeper who just keep track of timing. Like
That's their whole focus.
yeah.
And depending on what the goal of the workshop is, you don't necessarily want to time box things. If you absolutely positively need to make a decision, you need to dig for as long as it takes.
You've got to balance it between how many decisions do you have to make and how much time do you have. Okay, next one. Finn wants to ensure key stakeholders have a unified vision of a business solution. He has decided to facilitate a session during which participants will construct a product box. Which elicitation technique is Finn using? So they're constructing a product box. Is it a workshop, mind mapping, collaborative game, or prototyping?
I'll go for C because it's a type of collaborative games.
Okay, any other votes?
Speak up, everyone. We don't want it to be just the
Sorry.
Rajani show. As
Is
much as we love Rajani.
She is awesome, but we need more people.
Is it prototyping or collaborative games?
Well,
See,
because participants are doing it together,
Yes.
they are together creating a prototype, but because they're together, it's collaborative. At least that's
But-
my idea. Let's check the answer.
product box is explicitly a particular type of collaborative game. It's a well-known one.
Affinity mapping, product boxing, and there is a third one. Is fishball.
Okay, very good. Okay, number 6. Who would be the most likely audience for a survey? Business domain SMEs, such as marketing, accounting, and operations, customers, end users, and sponsors, business domain SMEs, such as marketing, accounting, operations, implementation subject matter experts, and customers, end users, and implementation subject matter experts. Are there any of these that are wrong that we can eliminate?
Accounting and operation is not, because implementation SMEs are less in number, so survey is maybe not required, so we can eliminate A and D. I think it should be B, customer, end users, and sponsor.
Okay. Do I have any other votes?
I would go with D.
So my question, and I'm not disputing, I'm just asking because the sponsor B, as a sponsor, who's actually the one that provide the funding and make sure the requisite stakeholders are involved. I'm not certain if why would we target that person for a survey? I mean, I don't have the answer, but that's just my question in terms of these.
So
I agree.
would it be sponsor more than implementation subject matter expert if it's between B and D? I tell you what, let's check D. Let's go with D and see what the answer is. And the answer is not one we anticipated. Business domain SMEs, which is marketing, accounting, and operations. Okay, so my objection to this question is we don't know what kind of survey this is.
Yeah, how is accounting?
If this was a survey about if we put out this kind of bird binoculars for bird seekers, you know, for people that look at birds, whatever they're called, bird watchers. We would want the end users and the vendors that sell those to weigh in. We don't want marketing, accounting, and operations to tell us the answer. But if it's a survey that's what would be the best way to do this thing in the company, it's a totally different audience. So I don't like this question. I would like to
I would agree with that answer because once I realized yes, those can all be end users, which ultimately can be customer internal or otherwise. It just depends on the offering. So I mean, based on the different answer, I think that would be the best one. So I mean, I could see those as being end users / customers.
Well, remember, the watermark questions have a tendency to be goofy, and the actual test questions are usually worded a little more effectively. So it's a good discussion. I'm sure you all know enough to do well on the test.
hold on. My screen just went blank. Let me see what's going on. Okay, here we go. Can you still hear me?
We can hear you, but not see the screen.
Okay, this is weird. Let me check all my plugs.
Oh, we can see everybody. We can see everyone else.
That's great.
Just
You're
the
not
screen.
sharing your screen.
I did not make that choice. I got a thing that said it wasn't responding any longer. Let me ask you to bear with me for just a moment, and I will get another computer up and going. I apologize. If someone would like to step in and talk about something exciting, I'll be right back. Thank you.
I mean, we probably could discuss that same question. So in terms of a customer or end user, I could see the SME and the different business unit, accounting, marketing, I believe, another one being the end user and internal customers. So to that end, I kind of agree. It wasn't clear cut, but I could see those being targeted customers for a survey.
Yeah, if you have a large organization, the point of a survey is to get a lot of responses in a short time. So that question does not make the context very clear.
I agree. I don't see that accounting role or in 10.45.3.
If a lot of people use a system or a group of systems, it's reasonable to survey them.
Okay, I'm getting another computer up. It'll take me just a minute. Oh, good. I cannot see the address for the Zoom. Can you read it to me, please? HTTPS. I got it. It was saved on this computer.
Yeah, because you don't want us to try and read that thing to you.
No, lowercase, uppercase, 14. Hold your tongue just
Yeah.
right. Launch meeting. Please. And because we are launching again, I'm going to have to start at the very beginning instead of at the end. Trying. Okay, it's going to take me a minute, folks. I apologize.
Does anyone have a book they are excited about that they'd like to share and describe?
I watch movie Bobs. I don't read books that often. Eh. Nobody wants to talk.
No.
And actually, we have a new person, Ollie. Ollie, are you actually there? Because we keep getting messages that some AI is responding for you.
Hmm.
Okay.
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 9/10 of the way there, guys.
Well, I'll talk. I just came back from the Business Analyst World Summit in Boston.
That's
I
exciting.
just flew back today, and that was it was a nice experience. They had very good speakers, able to collaborate with our team, and had various subjects that they spoke on, which were pretty relevant. Well, they were definitely relevant to business analysts, and so enjoyed the time there. It was worth the trip.
What was the best thing that you heard?
Some of the topics were
This meeting is being recorded.
specific to Agile. We were starting to move toward Agile and in our PMO, and there were some good discussions about moving toward an Agile framework in your workplace. The last session I attended was robotic requirements, building your own digital assistant, and using some of the Microsoft products that are out there. It's kind of insightful about things that you can do as far as using the Microsoft products that are out there to assist and do some automation when it comes to requirements and other things. So it was awesome.
Was AJ or Mandy there? Or do you remember I don't know if you remember those names, but
AJ Hawley?
Holly, yeah.
He was. He's the one that did the robotic requirements.
Okay. He was a former member of our board many years ago. He worked at Power Objects with me and suckered me into the board member. He's the reason
No
why I'm
kidding.
here. Yeah. Yeah. And then
Oh,
Mandy was our old president. I don't know if she spoke or not. But she speaks at a lot of them too.
That's awesome.
What's
Yeah.
Mandy's full name?
Okay.
Enrich, and she got married recently. So
Eric,
there you go.
YRICH.
I don't see Mandy.
Yeah.
Because I did, of course, I
You
couldn't
see
attend
a
all of them.
lot of the same speakers at all those conferences.
Yeah. Of course, I wasn't able to attend them all, but for the
Sure.
ones that I did attend, but I don't see her on the agenda. So
I was just curious.
all right, so sounds like we're back up. So I'll be quiet.
We
Just
are
trying
back.
to
I
fill in.
appreciate you speaking up, though. Speaking of speaking, in April, I'm hoping to be at the, I think it's called the BBC in Orlando, to do a presentation, a workshop there. In October, on the 29th, I'm going to be speaking in the Philippines virtually and telling them how we've been very successful with our study group. And so I'm excited about both of those. So it won't be all the same people next time, I hope. Let's get back to the questions. We only have 30 minutes to finish, and we have 20 questions now. So we might not make it all the way through, but let's see what we can do. Which of the following statements is not true about prototyping? Prototypes are used to simulate a new solution so that performance measures can be determined and collected. Prototypes facilitate agreement and as a basis for assessing the competencies and impact of solutions and defining contractual obligations. Developers may believe that they must provide a user interface that precisely matches the prototype even if more elegant technology and interface approaches exist. And when using throwaway or paper prototyping methods, users may feel more comfortable being critical of the mock-up that is not polished and release ready, which is not true about prototyping.
I'll vote for B.
Why do you like B?
Because it is not for defining contractual obligations, as well as it does not says the completeness and impact of a solution. So I would say that is incorrect.
Okay. Any other answers? Anybody have a different vote or a same vote? You have the most important voice in the meeting today. I'm going to check answers, and yes, this is correct. This is best achieved through scope models to get this outcome. Next, what is the primary purpose of backlog management? Is it to record, track, and prioritize remaining work items, to communicate with stakeholders regarding the status and projected completion date of work, to allocate required resources to effectively clear the backlog, or to provide management with reports of work that has been started? According to the BABOK, what is the primary purpose of backlog management?
I'll go for A.
I think it's A.
I also
Okay,
think it
2
is
votes
A.
for A, and we are correct. Good job. You're preparing to conduct a workshop and you want to elicit numerous creative ideas from participants. Which techniques would be best to use? Brainstorming, focus group, interface analysis, or activity diagram?
Brainstorming.
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 I love hearing your voices. That is correct. Which of the following subset represents the key elements of a mind map? Main topic, topics, subtopics, branches, keywords, activity, and decision point. Main topic, topics, subtopics, branches, decision point, color, images. Main topic, topics, subtopic, branches, keywords, color, images. Or main topic, topics, subtopic, branches, keywords, and images. Is decision point part of it at all?
C.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
C.
C. Okay, I hear several C's, and that is correct. So the keywords, color, and images are important in that sentence. What is the purpose of survey or questionnaire? To help build rapport within a sample group, to elicit business analysis information from a group of people, to help define solution options, or to survey the business need?
E.
B.
B. I'll go for
E.
B.
B.
Let's find out. And you're correct. Love it. Lessons learned techniques can include a review of 3 of the following elements. Which one would not be included? Root causes impacting performance results, positive or negative variances, the final solution, product, or service, and a list of errors made by specific team members.
C.
C would not be included?
I would say D because it's not about a specific person. Lessons learned are generally documented and not necessarily, well, it's implored not to mention the person name actually. It's more about the process.
Okay.
That's
let's
more of
check
a
the
shame
answer.
list.
Go for B. Oh, because
It's not worded well, but
not
it's
in-
getting at the right thing as he just described.
Lessons learned or retrospective often has things we did well, things we need to do better next time, things we need to change, and kudos. It never is who messed up and what did they do wrong. A business analyst for an initiative, you are evaluating the implications of proposed changes to requirements and design. Which techniques would you use to determine the level of risk associated with the changes? Would it be risk analysis and management, workshops, root cause analysis, or risk identification?
A. Risk analysis.
Okay.
A.
In the interest of time, Risk analysis and management identifies and analyzes the risk associated with change. Risk identification. Did I click the wrong one perhaps? I may have.
Yep, you did.
It was on me then.
We're not
So this-
blaming you though.
Well, thank you. A good retrospective there. Let's go. Which of the following statements is accurate about financial analysis technique? Financial analysis allows executive decision makers to objectively compare very different investments from different perspectives. Positive financial numbers represent a thriving business. The lower the ROI, the better the investment. Or because financial analysis is a forward-looking, there will be no uncertainty about unexpected costs and benefits.
A.
A.
We know this is wrong. Did you say A?
Yes.
Okay, let's check it. And you are correct. Financial analysis allows executive decision makers to objectively compare very different investments from different perspectives. This solicitation technique is comprised of pre-qualified individuals whose purpose it is to discuss and comment on a topic under the guidance of a trained mediator. These sessions can be conducted using homogeneous or heterogeneous audience. What is this technique called?
A focus group.
Focus group.
Focus group.
I knew y'all were going to get that. Very good. Which of the following statements is not true regarding the benchmarking and business and market analysis technique? Benchmarking identifies why similar companies are successful and what processes they use to become successful. Benchmarking produces innovative solutions that produce sustainable competitive advantage. Market analysis can be time-consuming and expensive, and the results may not be immediately available. Or market analysts can help determine if partnering, merging, and divesting are viable alternatives for an enterprise. Which one is not true?
B.
B.
I'm not sure.
B.
B as in boy.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's check it. This is not true. Very good. During the requirement solicitation of a project, a BA is hearing different requirements for various employee designations, such as job candidate, new hires, employees, and retirees. What technique can the analyst utilize to provide clarity and understanding? Would it be state modeling, data modeling, sequence diagram, or user stories? Different requirements for various employee designations.
Would it be state modeling?
State modeling.
Okay, let's try it. State modeling describes and analyzes the various possible states of an entity within a system, including how that entity changes from one state to another and what can happen to the entity when it is in each state. Very good, guys. Which of the
That's
following
a
is not?
really poorly worded question.
Do you want me to flag it?
Yeah.
I will flag it. Okay. Which of the following is not an element of business cases? Need assessment, business plan, assess alternatives, or desired outcome?
I'm confused in B or D.
B or D? I need a second vote. Anybody?
D.
I think a business case does identify the desired outcome. Let's check B.
Yeah.
I think C and D are
I think it's A.
are
Because we also
a part
assess
of it.
alternatives, the opportunity cost and that thing. Yeah.
Okay.
And C is the problem child.
Let's check B as an
No
answer.
alternatives.
The business plan is not mentioned in the BABOK.
Of course, the business plan is part of the business case, whether or not the BABOK mentions it, but it's all about the BABOK.
It's all about answering according to the BABOK. You work for a client-focused company that sells numerous products to targeted customer segments. Which organizational model might best fit the company's needs? Product-oriented, functionally oriented, matrix model, or market oriented. Numerous products to target customer segments.
Product.
A sounds good.
A. Yeah.
Okay, let's check A. Okay,
Ooh,
market oriented because it's targeted customer segments. So it's like, I want to sell binoculars to bird watchers. Okay, let's go to the next
That's
one.
one of those things where you have to know the verbiage of the BABOK exactly, and I think the test doesn't do that to you very directly as often as these questions do.
Okay, but if you do get a decent score on these questions, you're much more likely to pass the BABOK. So these are harder than pass the CBAP. These are harder than the CBAP, so we use these to get better. Which techniques can be used to attain approvals for the requirements? Decision analysis, item tracking, reviews, workshops, and client consensus. Acceptance and evaluation criteria, decision analysis, item tracking, and workshops. Interviews, prototypes, item tracking, and root cause analysis. And requirements and design modeling is the only technique required.
B.
Okay, first of all, is any of these not the right answer?
D is the wrong.
We are acceptance and evaluation criteria. That must be the only possible answer.
Okay, so we're trying to obtain approvals of requirements. So we already have the requirements. We're not eliciting anymore. So we know that this is not going to be the answer.
Yeah.
I would say B.
Okay, let's check B. It is correct. Very good. Next, a blank is a means of eliciting information from many people anonymously in a relatively short period of time. The closed-ended type of this technique is helpful in gathering blank data for statistical analysis. So our options are group interview qualitative, survey qualitative, focus group qualitative, and group interview quantitative.
B.
I didn't say all those right.
B.
Thank you. Check answer, and it is correct. Any questions about this question? Thank you. Okay, Megan has been asked to determine if the change solution or solution approach the company wants to pursue is worth investing in. She compares a certain calculation of one solution or solution approach to a minimum threshold that the organization expects to earn from its investments. It's called the hurdle rate. From the above information, which financial calculation is Megan using? Is she using net present value, internal rate of return, expected hurdle rate, or return on investment? Are any of these not a real thing?
C is not real.
Okay.
I mean, I'll go for B, IRR.
Okay. Let's try it. And it is correct. This is the internal rate of return. Very good. The project manager has asked Raja for a list of all of his business analysis related deliverables along with the associated activities and tasks as inputs into the project plan and schedule. What technique will serve Raja best? Estimation, functional decomposition, brainstorming, or work breakdown structure? I heard 1D. Any other answers? Anybody agree?
WBS, yeah.
Okay. Okay. The tool that will help Raja break down his BA deliverables to sub-deliverables to activities and tasks is functional decomposition. Work breakdown structure is not a technique. Rather, it is a way to display the scope of the project by decomposing deliverables to sub-deliverables, which sounds like it's the same thing, but it's called functional decomposition. Work breakdown structure.
WBS is more of a project management thing they talk about in the PMBOK. It's mentioned in the BABOK, but not emphasized.
I would argue as it is asking for list of all his BA related deliverables. So functional decomposition is the graphical representation. No.
It would be, but in the BABOK, functional decomposition is the name of the technique. It's asking for the technique.
And you can represent it any way you want, as a diagram, like a tree diagram, a mind map, or an outline, anything you want.
Thank you.
Whenever it says what technique, it's very literal. It means it only wants one of the techniques. You can't do anything else. It does that with a couple of other things too. What input, what output, things like that. Tristan is a BA creating a scope model illustrating the relationships of scope events. Which of the following representations would Tristan use to capture his results? Would it be a matrix, text, diagram or matrix? Relationships of scope events.
Elements.
So it gotta be either A or D, because it's a relationship which is typically a matrix. Let's read this.
Diagram or matrix? Yeah, D should be.
D.
So, okay, let's try it. Okay, it would be a diagram. I would say that you're probably talking something like a context diagram, which is at level 0 of how things are related to each other, and it would go down from there. So you're
Or
going
an
to be
architecture diagram or a block diagram. This is not a really well worded question.
It isn't.
Yeah.
But anytime you're looking at scope models illustrating relationships, I can see how you would think that it could be a grid, like a spreadsheet diagram, matrix.
When
But
a scope model, the way I think of it, think of a process model, and you draw a line around what part you're including in this process and what part is outside of it. And that's determining the scope for the work. And it can be any kind of diagram. Flow diagram, block diagram, company organizational chart, a lot of things, they're all diagrams.
But here it also says that would Tristan use to capture his results. So we would say either diagram or matrix, like it says used to capture his results. So could it be both?
Matrix shows how everything is related to everything else, and that may not be the most efficient way to show things.
let's move on in the interest of time. Which of the following statements is not true about risk? A risk event could be one occurrence, several occurrences, or even a non-occurrence. An organization typically faces similar challenges on many of its initiatives, hence successful risk responses on one initiative must always be applied to other initiatives. The consequences of risk are described in terms of their impact to the potential value, and there's a possibility that significant risks are not identified. Which one of these is not true?
B. B as in boy.
I think we all agree. Very good. The response to a risk is going to be customized to that particular risk. In a short 3-month project to implement a COTS system, commercial off-the-shelf system, a BA determined that the requirement specification document was not necessary and planned instead to develop use cases to document functional requirements. What is this an example of? Incorrectly utilizing use cases, making assumptions that may prove risky and cause issues in the project at a later time, determining appropriate requirements analysis and documentation activities, or cutting the wrong corners. Use cases may be used to supplement a more formal specification document. Which of these is an example?
C.
Do I have any other votes? Okay, let's check the answer, and it is correct. Guys, we finished 25 questions in 30 minutes. I'm very impressed. Let's submit. Let's see. Next, view results. We got 85%. We did pretty
We
well.
actually got 90 because you clicked one incorrectly.
That's right. That's right. So it's on me. We got 90%.
May I ask what level of the practice test is this? Like, I know there are different levels.
This is the drill for techniques.
Drill for techniques. Okay, thank you.
So what I do is I go into, let's log in. Well, this is the right one. Let me put this in. I go in and ask for drill, and then I went into techniques and got drill feedback options after every question. So this is the level I'm at. Okay, so
Thank you.
next week, do y'all want to do techniques for a second time, or do you want to do underlying competencies? Or do you want to go back to the techniques? We have 9 techniques left that we want to get done by the end of November. Okay.
We probably
Then let's-
want to make sure that everybody has that list of techniques that need to be done.
Techniques.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Bob could do them, but like we always say, it'd be nice to have others do
You know
them.
what? Bob is having some challenges with his voice, and we're going to help him out. So these are the techniques that we still have. Bob, did you say this is not quite updated?
No, this is updated, this section.
Okay, very good. So let's talk about this. We've got balanced scorecard, benchmarking, and market analysis. Those 2 need to be done again. We have business model canvas. We have data modeling. We have decision modeling. We have functional decomposition needs to be done. We have scope modeling, state modeling, and user stories.
And I think we really need to cover roles and permissions matrix. We did not do that formally.
Okay,
He
so let's do that
mentioned
formally.
it, but it wasn't a full discussion.
Okay, so I'm going to ask everyone to look at this and see what 1 or 2 you might be able to talk about. Otherwise, we're going to be just covering every single one of these between now and the end of November. We'll be announcing which ones they are as people volunteer. And if you want to volunteer and you say, I can't do it this week, I can do it next week or whatever, that's fine. But by the end of November, excluding the week of Thanksgiving, since so many people will be off, we have these to get done. So reach out to me on LinkedIn, and we will get this all scheduled. I only have one other thing is I was nominated as Volunteer of the Year for our region, and I was nominated by several of y'all, and I want to sincerely give you my gratitude. The other people that have been nominated are people that I've recommended that we follow, that y'all look at what they do because they do such good work. And so to be in their company is very special to me. I think we are at the end of our meeting. Does anyone have any questions about what we covered today? Does anyone have any questions about what we haven't covered today? Okay. Then I'm going to go off on a tangent. We have 5 whole minutes. I've got stories. If you have never heard of WikiSpeed, and I'm talking like Wikipedia, Wiki, look up WikiSpeed on TED Talks. I think the gentleman's name is Joe Dallas. He is the one who talks about using Agile, using literally Scrum to build a car. Y'all know Scrum is for software development only. That's all we use it for. No, they built a car. They built a car that was an award-winning car using Agile techniques. And what I really appreciate about him is not only did he use Agile to build a car and win awards, but they were able to use it very incrementally in a way that is inspiring. And he also talks about volunteering. If you were just to give 1 hour a week to do something better in the world would be a better place. And so I encourage you to look him up on TED Talks. There's a lot of really great stuff on TED Talks. If you haven't found it, there are some dogs on TED Talks too that you don't need to watch, but you got to find out what they are. But also, while you're online, check out Bob's website and see all the good work that he's done. Send him some love if you can, and see if there's something in there that you can share with other people, because he's done a lot of work just for the benefit of our community. Do we have anybody that is getting ready to put in their application for the CBAP or one of the other certifications? Does anyone need any, to have questions asked or answered about those things? Okay. In that case, let's close the meeting. I will talk to you all next week, and we will be going over 2 or 3 of the techniques, depending, that we have not yet covered, and we will get this covered in such depth that whenever you answer test questions about the techniques, you have no question in your mind as to what the BABOK says. Okay, guys. See you next week. Bye.
Thank you.
See you, everybody.